Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rebel Chumps channel. Today we're looking at the Master Series Darkstorm by Sabermach. A fantastic looking hilt with absolutely unique features that we have not seen on any lightsaber on the market yet. This is an absolutely fantastic lightsaber. It's packed full with features as well. It's featuring the Prism 5.1 soundboard by Plector Labs, and it's an absolutely gorgeous setup, as you can see. So we start up with taking a close-up look on the emitter. And as you can see how beautiful and unique this emitter design is. Very sleek, very elegant, as you can see. We start by taking a close-up look of the emitter. A very nice shiny emitter. The hilt comes in several color options, so you can choose whatever color you want. And here we see the LED retention screw for the blade and the LED retention screw for the LED unit. A little bit below that we have an auxiliary button for auxiliary sound effects, which we were gonna cover in a moment. Then we have the middle section, very beautiful. You see that choke point in the middle? Very nice. I love the diamond shapes coming back, as you can see. And a bit lower we have a beautiful gripping area, which makes a lightsaber unique as well, is it has been concaved out of the hilt. And it has this grippy texture to it. The gripping surface feels very nice. It doesn't feel aggressive to the hand at all. It's a very nice grippy area, and it feels really nice to the touch. And underneath we have the same gripping area and also a cover tag wheel, which also houses the recharge port. And then we have the pommel. Very beautiful pommel. As you can see, it has the Sabermach logo on the bottom. And you can see clearly the Sabermach logo. Looks really cool. So now we're going to take a close-up look on the pommel. Let's unscrew the pommel really quick. Very smooth threads, by the way. Really smooth. And here's the pommel. So you can see very nice milled out pommel. It's a one-piece pommel, very clean, no debris inside, very smooth finish. And why I mention that is that is really important. If it's smooth inside, it actually fits nicely over the chassis, and it helps to remove and put back the chassis in a very smooth fashion. You can see the Sabermach logo on there. That's really cool. You see the sound vent holes, almost look like the chambers of a revolver. That looks really cool. Very nice curved pommel as well. Very comfortable, super smooth because of that SSP finish on that on the outside of the hilt. Showing the back of the lightsaber going back to the tip of the emitter. Very beautiful. The emitter, as you can see, is quite deep. We're going to measure that in a moment. It's sporting a Tri-Cree LED in red, green, blue. So you have the full RGB options with the installed Prism 5.1 soundboard if you go for the Master Series option, as I did. And let's turn her on really quick without the blade, and after we're going to turn her on with the blade in there. It's a nice and loud saber, as you can hear. So one thing I noticed about the Darkstorm is the auxiliary switch and how convenient it is to actually use the auxiliary switch, where other lightsaber companies tuck their auxiliary switch deeper into the hilt, making it harder to operate and actually press the auxiliary button. With Sabermach, they actually made it more convenient, and I didn't feel like at any times I accidentally engaged the auxiliary switch button functionalities. So I actually feel this is a much more comfortable handling of the auxiliary button. So let me turn her on and show you what I mean. You can see how easy it is for me to actually operate the auxiliary button. Very easy to do. Same for color switching, it's very easy to operate and change colors. I actually prefer how Sabermach set up their auxiliary button compared to other companies, because it's much more convenient to actually access the auxiliary button, where other saber companies have this philosophy to sink them a bit deeper into the hilt to make sure you don't have accidental hits of the auxiliary button and accidentally trigger a sound effect or whatnot. But I had never had that issue, and I actually find it harder to engage the secondary switch or the auxiliary switch because of that being deeper into the hilt. And with this one is actually super convenient. I never had any accidental hits so far that triggered an accidental secondary sound. It's so convenient. I really like the way they set up this auxiliary buttons, sticking out just ever so slightly, making it for a very convenient press. So what we're going to do now is measure up the depth of the socket of the hilt. The hilt socket, including the prongs, is around 2.5 inches. So that makes it for a nice deep blade socket, which I prefer, because I always feel a deeper blade socket gives a bit more bite on the blade and basically eliminates as much as possible of potential blade wobble. I didn't have any blade wobble with this lightsaber from Sabermach. I actually felt that the blade socket was very snug and very good, and it fits perfectly well with Vader's Vault blades, because also Vader's Vault has these very snug setup. The overall length of the hilt from the bottom of the pommel to the very tip of the emitter is around 10.5 inches long. So that's really nice. The thickness of the hilt is actually in line with Vader's Vault combat class, so it's a very narrow and thin hilt design, which I absolutely love. It's very comfortable to hold, especially with the flat grabbing area. It makes it for a good dual hander. So you can see I have a nice full grip on the bottom. So the flat area on the bottom and the round area on the top makes it for a very convenient hilt to hold. And it's definitely a good two-hander with its 11.5 inches length. So now next we're going to weight the saber, see how much she weighs. We're going to put her on the flat end so she doesn't roll over. Here we go. And she weighs 0.880 lb or 0.399 kg or gram, so around 400 gram, and that is 0.10.7 T or 0.10.6 CA. So it's a really nice weight, all things considered, that at 400 grams it includes the chassis, it includes the soundboard, the speaker, the recharge port, the cover tag wheel, the Tri-Cree RGB LED, and this beautiful hilt design. So I'm now going to show you guys how to actually access the SD card to change the sound fonts or the color profiles or anything that you basically want to change on the awesome Prism 5.1 soundboard made by Plector Labs. So what we need to do, and it's actually quite clever from Sabermach, is you need to remove the cover tag wheel. It actually can unscrew, as you can see, you can unscrew it like this. Just take your time. And now we have unscrewed it. I actually can show you the cover tag wheel really quick, because it's a pretty darn awesome cover tag wheel. You can see. Even the cover tag wheel has been finished with this SSP finish by Sabermach. That's really cool. So what we need to do now is push in the recharge port till it's flush, and then we can actually pull out the chassis. So we put it down. Once we have pushed in the recharge port, we can just gently pull out the chassis. Just take your time. Make sure the chassis, the recharge port is all on the bottom and flush, so we can pull it out slowly. And then keep pulling and pulling and pulling till you hit a certain resistance. And we have met that. And now we can actually access the SD card. As you can see here, we have the recharge port, we have the Prism 5.1 soundboard, and we have it on this beautiful chassis, as you can see here. That's really cool. So it makes everything very accessible and easy to manipulate and access. So the SD card is actually accessible from here. You can plug it out there and then put it in your computer and change the values. So that's really cool. And after you're done and you change, for example, the sound banks with new sound fonts, or change the color profiles or something else, you can gently push everything back into the hilt Do it carefully, of course, make sure you take your time. So once you have placed back the chassis into the hilt and you have the recharge port in the right spot, just get your cover tech wheel and basically screw everything back into place. So I just popped in this Vader's Vault blade. Now we're going to take a look at the lightsaber ignited and see some of the functionalities that the Prism 5.1 soundboard by Plector Labs offers to this lightsaber. So here we go, turn her on. So the lightsaber is now set to this beautiful dark purple. Now please be minded there's a very bright LED just on top of the lightsaber for this video, so it washes some of the colors a bit out. So we're starting with the color changing. That's be ignited by holding both the power button and the ignition button at the same time to toggle between the colors, just like Vader's Vault with their Plector Labs Crystal Shard for version 4.5 soundboard. So there we go. Now we're changing colors. As you can see, a beautiful shade of red and white if you want to. A yellow or amber, a nice red if you want to be a Sith. To recap the features of this awesome lightsaber one more time, the Sabermach Masterclass comes with the Plector Labs Prism 5.1 soundboard, which is as good as the Crystal Shard 4.0 or 4.5 soundboard that, for example, Vader's Vault uses. They have a beautiful hilt design, really elegant, very sturdy hilt. It has the SSP finish, which is basically a protective finish that makes sure the hilt cannot oxidate, because most lightsabers are made out of alloy, and this particular protection actually makes sure that you can wipe off sweaty stains like I have, because I always have sweaty hands. I can wipe it off whenever I want without actually it hurting the lightsaber over time. I can put this back I could actually put this lightsaber in the back of my shelves or in a closet for years on end when I have it touched with my sweaty hands, and the finish will actually protect the lightsaber from corroding. That is really awesome. It has a very loud speaker. It is very similar in touch and feel and handling as, for example, the Vader's Vault combat class. So you can definitely be assured that this lightsaber from Sabermach has a really high-end quality and feel to it. They hold up really good for heavy dueling as well. You can spin with it, and just overall very beautiful hilts. So if you're looking for a unique high-end made lightsaber, definitely check out Sabermach, and in particular check out this Darkstorm. An absolutely fantastic looking hilt, very unique hilt design, absolutely fantastic. I love it. So let me know in the comments what you think about this lightsaber, and hopefully I see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.